Hello, I'm Erica Nicole, and you're watching Rooted and Rich. And today I want you to ask yourself the question, are you bad with money? Sometimes we are making the most money we ever made, and we feel like we don't have enough money. At the end of the month, we don't know where all our money has went. Or we're making the best money of our life and we don't know what to do with all the money that we have. So we just spend it. We're buying drinks and having a good time, going out to eat, traveling, because we don't know what to do other than spend the money that we make. Or maybe it's the opposite. You're not making good money. Maybe once you made good money, but now you feel trapped. You feel like, will I ever see the kind of money that that I made in the past? You suffer job loss or a layoff, and now you feel like you don't know what to do and you're having to start all over. Today's video is for you if you're in any of those categories or somewhere in between. I want you to ask yourself the question, are you bad with money? Most of us, and this is not to make anybody feel guilty, but most of us are bad with money. The main thing we're taught about money is to spend, is to go out and make money and spend it. And that's the end. If we're lucky, we get told to save it or taught to save it. And so most of us, generally speaking, is come out the womb bad with money, start living our adult life being bad with money because we haven't been taught anything besides spending money. Let me tell you, money is a horrible master. And if you're bad at money, I can tell you now, your money is mastering you. It's mastering you. It's making you feel shame. It's making you feel guilt. It's keeping you up at night. It has you stressed because money is mastering you, and money makes for a horrible master. But when we master our money, we give our money purpose. We start to drive our money into the places that are most meaningful for us and aligning it with the values and the things that mean the most to us, then we are winning. And so today I want to help you guys that are bad with money master your money so that you're no longer feeling stress, anxiety, and fear around your money or guilt and shame. So if you ever got your paycheck and had no plan for your money, this video is for you. If you're living above your means, meaning that every month it feels like you're having to swipe credit cards to make ends meet. If you have credit card debt that is piling up and piling up and piling up because you can't continue to pay it. The only thing you can pay is the minimums. This video is for you. And if you ever focus on building your dreams despite your financial health, this video is for you because it is important that we take care of our financial health so we can live out our dreams, because a rocky foundation kills the rest. And so if you said yes to any of these things, I want to help you today because I feel like money should not be our masters. We should be mastering it. And so there's really only two solutions when it comes to money. And those two solutions are make more money and spend less. But what really drives that make more money or spend less is our mindset. And so today I want to talk to you about your money mindset because that is going to drive you either into prosperity or into poverty. Your mindset determines a lot about you. When they used to say back in the day, your attitude determines your altitude, they really wasn't lying. So your attitude toward money, the way you think about your money, is really going to determine how far you get with money. Like I said before, money is meant to be mastered. And so it is important for you it's important as you as stewards of money that God has given, that you learn how to master it. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to shift your mindset. You're going to shift your mindset. And every day I want you to wake up and I want you to tell yourself, I am blessed. I have more than enough. God is my provision. He is providing for me throughout the day, throughout my life. I want you to reframe it. I don't want you to say the word I'm broke ever again. And I know this is hard because a lot of us use I'm broke because we don't want to do something that somebody else wants to do. So like, I'm broke. I don't got it. But for real, some of you guys are really broke and you really are struggling. But I want you to cut that out of your vocabulary. Say, I am blessed. I am blessed. God is near the poor. God is near the brokenhearted. And so you are blessed. So first things first is you got to reframe your mindset. When it comes to reframing your mindset, every decision I want you to make when it comes to your money, I want it to be not just for today, but for tomorrow, for 5 years from now, from 10 years from now. So people that are good with money, they have a long-term view of money. They don't just think about what money can do for them today, but they think about what it can do for them tomorrow. They start to figure out how to make their money work for them. And so the first thing we're going to do as we shift our mindset is to get a plan. You guys, if you have never had a plan around your money, this is your starting ground. If you've never had, let's say you're married, a financial conversation with your spouse around setting a plan for what your future looks like, then this is the time for you. There are two things to setting up this plan to help you. One is just the plan of your day-to-day expenses. What is coming in and what is going out? What is the difference and what do I need to make up? So the thing is this, that is just the day-to-day, that is the cost of entry. Is we got to talk about all the money that's coming in, and we got to see what's coming in, and we got to talk about every single dime that's going out. Now, you're not going to do this every day. You're not going to do this once a month. This is something that you're going to do once a year or twice a year, and you're going to get yourself in order. So the reason you need to sit down and write out this plan for just the short term for your day-to-day is because you cannot automate anything without knowing your day-to-day. You can't drive blindly. So you have to know what's going on. You have to know how much you're spending. You have to know how much you're spending, and you have to know how much you're bringing in, and you have to know if that's a deficit or a surplus, because depending on what that tells you, if it's a deficit, that tells you that you need to find more income. You need to bring in more income. You might need a second job, overtime, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm not telling you that you want to live like this forever, and so that is why the next part of this plan is to kick into overtime of driving in what is my long-term goal. Some of this is going to be you setting up buckets like an emergency savings account, or setting up buckets of starting to invest in your retirement accounts. Or some of this is going to be you starting to open up a brokerage account and invest in an index fund or an ETF. Some of this is going to be beyond you, or you're going to start setting aside money to purchase a home, or to start to live out your dreams and vacation in the way you want. Some of this is going to be your future set, because without those future goals, we get lost in the minutia of the day-to-day. And I don't want you to just get stuck there. I don't want you to be comfortable. I want you to be living out your dream. And so the first part is really to plan the day-to-day, is to figure out what's going on. The thing is this, if you're in a boat and you're trying to get somewhere and the boat has holes in it, and water is filling up, you have to stop driving that bucket, and you have to plug up those holes if you want to get anywhere. If you don't plug up those holes, you can't get anywhere fast. You're literally going to be spending time every day, instead of going somewhere, grabbing a bucket and getting water and dumping it off the side of the boat. And why is that important? Because people that are struggling, people that don't have a plan for their day-to-day, are literally those people sitting in a boat wanting to get somewhere, but literally their boat is filling up with water, and they're taking buckets and they're dumping the water over while water constantly fills, not realizing that they have to plug in the holes. So if you're in credit card debt and you're in tons of debt, if you are just, you don't have a plan, and so your money just goes and you have no idea where it goes, this is your time to write down your numbers, figure out what it is. Do I have a surplus at the end of the month? Do I have a deficit? And how can I plug the holes so that I can start working on not just getting water out of the boat and surviving, but striving and getting somewhere in my financial journey? Once you figure out a plan to plug up the holes, I want you to work that plan. So if that's a debt repayment plan, I have a video on debt repayment plans. If that's starting to invest or starting an emergency fund, I have videos on that. I want you to dive deeper into the category that you find that you need to do. One of the things that when you have this day-to-day plan is that you have to build a solid foundation. So let's say you're just like, hey, I don't know where my money's going, but it says I should have money afterwards. That means you have not created the buckets that you need in order for your money to grow, for order for you to feel safe in your money. And so what you need to do is start that emergency fund. You need to get that $500 and that $1,000, and you need to put it away, and you need to start building that 3 to 6 months emergency fund, because you're trying to get somewhere without that foundation of emergency fund. And so every time a tire pops, every time a medical bill comes, every time something comes up, something work on your car, you're starting from square one and you are having to pour water out your boat. If you have credit card debt and you're trying to build a dream or do this or do that, and you have interest eating your wealth, you have to plug the hole of that interest and that money that you're spending out on that, because interest is either working for you or against you, and it works excellent. It builds wealth excellent for people that is working for, and it tears down wealth excellent for people that is working against. And so you have to plug the holes there. If you have an emergency fund and you have a $1,500 or $2,000 or $1,000, it's time for you to build a 3 to 6 months emergency. The biggest emergency that will come up that will cost you the most is job loss. And so you need to be able to weather job loss. You need to be able to weather the different incomes that you'll flow. And if you're an entrepreneur, you definitely need an emergency fund, because you can't guarantee every month it's going to look the same. And so you need an emergency fund for those months where they're lower and those months where you get increase. You need that emergency fund so the quality of what you give people doesn't be shaped by the types of months that you have. All right. So now that we are plugging the holes, now it's time to, once we plug the holes, drive towards that destination. And this is the next part of your planning. Your planning is to think as big as you want. What do you want a year from now, 5 years from now? What do you want that to feel like? What do you want that to be? What is in your home? What kind of car do you drive? Where are you vacationing? Where are you living? What does that look like? And then I want you to get realistic. And this is realistic with yourself, because some people say, like, I want to move to Texas in a year. Is that really realistic? Do you have the money to do that? And I'm not talking about your 3 to 6 months emergency, because that is for emergencies. That is not what you use to up and move or to get somewhere else or to travel. That is for emergencies only. I'm talking about, will you be able to save in the next year to make that move? Will you be able to do that? And so being honest with yourself as possible of what that looks like, and creating a realistic time frame. And this is going to help you with your planning. And so once you have a plan for your long-term future, I want you to start to create the buckets to make sure that the money that you are planning to do that goes where it's supposed to go. Whether that's a brokerage account and you start investing in index funds because you know this will be a longer period of 5 to 10 years, or that's a high yield savings account because you know that's going to be coming up in a year. I want you to figure out, open that account and start pushing that money there. Even if it's not a lot of money, and even if this goal is so far out that you don't know, I need you to open up the accounts and start putting $5, $10, because if you don't have the places for the money to go, even when you get the money, it will disappear. So you want to start to get the buckets there, and I want you to start automating money to those buckets, and then I want you to increase over time, not worrying if you can't put a lot in those buckets now. Next, I want you to quit idolizing your dreams. You guys, I've done this in my life so many times that I wanted to be a VP by the age of 35. I wanted to be, make 6 figures by this date. And sometimes it happened and sometimes it didn't, but I idolized those things to the point that I couldn't see the blessings in the times that I were in now. I couldn't see the lessons that were building my character right now. I want you to have the dreams, but I want you to quit idolizing. And I want you to open up your mind to the possibility that there is more for you than what you're thinking about right now. That God may have something that He wants to drop into your spirit, but you're so focused and you're idolizing this one thing that you can't understand what else He may have for you. I want you to open up your mind, because some of you guys are driving towards dreams that God never gave you, or things that He's given you, but He wants your heart first. And so I want you to really think about, am I driving towards this dream because I'm idolizing what I think I saw, or am I really open to the Spirit of God and letting Him lead me into my dreams, and we're co-partnering in that? I want you to bring God on the boat with you, because some of you guys are striving in your own sense. You've gotten the water out there, you plug the hose, and you're just striving to get somewhere trying to lean into your own understanding and not in God's. You haven't invited him even on the boat. So I invite you to invite God on the boat and ask him, align your direction with his, and make sure that you know that the direction you're pulling toward, he's with you, and that you're okay with his timing. And that if you don't get there in the 5 years that you set out to get it, that it's okay, because everything you gained on the way of this journey was more important than getting there in 5 years. And then I want you to understand that the process matters in all of this. You guys, a lot of people will file bankruptcy, or they will do something drastic in their finances and to quickly get where they want to be. So they say, I want to be debt free. I'm going to file for bankruptcy. I'm going to eat this up, and then I'm going to do it. And then next thing you know, they're back in debt, thinking about filing bankruptcy again. Remember that all of this is about the process. It is about the process and the actions and going through, and it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. You're going to make mistakes, and that is okay. What I implore you to do is to, number one, start. There is so much information, even beyond this video. YouTube is full of intelligent people with great ideas and smart money moves and just things that you can learn. So I want you to fill yourself up with God's knowledge first, and then equip yourself with knowledge. Research more videos about being bad with money and what people are doing to be better at it. Research, think about all the stuff you're spending and stuff like that. Find videos on curbing overconsumption and overspending. Look for help. Get the tools, build your arsenal, because the process matters, and no quick fix. There's no quick fix. And so remember that when you are in the trenches, when you feel like, man, I don't really want to do this, I don't like this, that you have a whole team, myself included, God and his angels included, all of the people on YouTube building content on finances with you to try to support you in getting better with money. You are not alone in this. There are people struggling, trying to get out just like you are. And so remember, there are communities behind you. There are people that are rooting for you. And I especially am rooting for you. And so understand that the process is built to shape you, to mold you. And those lessons that you're learning through the process, even the mistakes that you make through the process, are there to sharpen you, to teach you, and to grow you. I implore you, if you're bad with money, I want you to shift your mindset. I want you to tell yourself you are blessed. I don't want to hear that you're broke coming out of your mouth anymore. I want you to make a plan for the day to day, and I want you to make that plan and automate those decisions. I want you to figure out where those holes are in your boat and plug them. Make a plan to plug them up. And then after those holes are plugged up, you have the emergency fund. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, or you're not letting credit card debt eat up your wealth. Then I want you to start to plan for those longer term dreams, for that house you want to buy, for that family you want to have, for that vacation you want to see, for that city you want to live in next. I want you to start to create a plan and create the buckets through a savings account or a brokerage account to start investing or saving for those goals. And then lastly, I want you to invite God into it all. Invite God into the boat, because we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. And that's through Christ, not through our own strength. And so I implore you to invite God in. I'm Erica Nicole. And if you want to see more of me, I have a video on why you don't need more money. You need clarity. Check me out in this video next. Bye.